What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen that I was going out. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Definitely, while a lot of y'all know, about this situation when it comes down to Carmelo Anthony and what he has done, I'm pretty sure. And honestly, all you have to do is just search up Carmelo Anthony to give you a quick summary on Google on actually what has happened. For ones that don't know, but for the most part, a lot of people know who Carmelo Anthony is, what he has done. They know Austin Metcalf, his parents, and pretty much everything that's going on. Now, they're saying that, it is possible for a new trial, new judge, and all is buff. Check it out.
Carmelo Anthony seeks a new trial. Anthony was found guilty of first-degree murder for stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf to death last year during a high school track meet. He claims it was self-defense. Anthony's lawyers argue the trial was effectively closed to the public, that prosecutors did not honor an off-the-record evidentiary agreement, and that the jury instructions were misleading. They also say the original judge was biased.
Saying that, and that's what, gets me a lot, when it comes down to this stuff, is the simple fact that, you have people that go off and say things of that sort that, is biased, and they don't feel like things are fair. But you can definitely just tell by how people are acting when it comes down to the whole race thing. I feel like there weren't, a big majority of people, black people at that, that truly gave, any type of, sense, common sense. Was saying something that actually, makes sense and the right thing. You had a lot of a majority of black people that truly looked more so of race, within this and the things that they, said. And if it was a black person that said anything, that had that common sense, that had, the right thing to say, then they get called out their name, they'll say different things in the comments, like they do me. Right. You have it right here, and this is something that I truly, truly, truly wanted to show you. That's a few things that I want to show y'all, but it just goes to show you just how Carmelo parents, are. Showing how they are, what they've said, with showing, asking to show mercy on their son, and it truly gets on my nerves a lot. The simple fact that you have so many people that truly don't, like I always said, don't really look at the right out of it. They look at race, and it's definitely sickening. Check it out.
His mother recounts the moment she addressed the jury and made her plea to them during the sentencing phase.
To have mercy on my son. That's what I told the jury. I know they had their minds made up already, so, really wasn't much I could say to change their mind.
Both parents fighting back emotions and tears as they described what they believe was a flawed trial.
We were delusional. We thought we was going to get a fair shake.
His
So
mother recounts
if you have literally them saying that they were delusional, and honestly, a lot of the things that was said from them, clearly it goes to show you a lot. I'm not trying to be funny here. It goes to show you a lot on what they were saying, what they were doing. And it is what it is. I'm gonna be 100. Like, I'm not even trying to be that guy and be rude or nothing, but I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. Like, it's one of those things of, you gotta face those consequences. You have Dominique Alexander here, and this is his advocate. For people that don't know, this is the person that honestly took majority of the money from, the Anthonys. Me personally, I think so when it comes down to it. And, I think it's NJAN, his company, within security, this, that, and the other. But he's, I guess, calling Carmelo that's the family's baby, I guess. Check it out.
When you see me escort Carmelo Anthony out there against security advice or whatever it may be, it's because Carmelo is all of our babies. Nick, I had to leave yesterday because, I always told somebody Carmelo is like a nephew to me. I know Carmelo. Most people know him as a hashtag and a name. I know that baby. I sat at dinner tables with him. I prayed with him. You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, it sounds like that's his job, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it honestly just makes it that, you know what I mean? Like, he's saying that he knows him and he's like family to me, and of course. I mean, of course. But you've known him for what? A year or so? Took his money and ran with it. I'd be saying that's my family too.
It's not a show for me. It's not a clickbait. Kayla and Andrew is like a brother and sister to me.
Now
We're
they're
locked
brother and
in
sister.
forever. It's not a client, that's my family. You know, everybody can this precious boy, this I know that heart. I sat down, broke bread and video games or whatever it may be. I told somebody earlier today, listen, I'm not the oppressor. Focusing on me trying to do this, saying who did this, who did that all of that doesn't even matter. What matter is that a baby was railroaded in a courtroom. It was lack of transparency in so many different things, and we have to move forward.
Yeah. I feel I definitely agree. Definitely have to move forward. And meaning by that, you know, he's sitting in a prison cell because of something that he did. You know, he has to face all his consequences. That's how I look at it. Another thing that I look at is the simple fact that regardless, again, like not even trying to be funny, I mean, he's saying he played video games with him and he sat at the dinner table and this, that, and the other, and that he truly loves Karmelo and that, you know, his family or their brothers. Y'all gotta think. A person that's been in y'all home that has sat there and spoke for y'all, of course it was, especially if you getting paid a lot of money and put your name out there. There's a lot of people now, because of this case, know of Dominique Alexander's name. Because of this, you know, obviously the stupid things, you know, he put out in this, that, and the other. But they look at more so of that instead of actually helping an individual out. That's just like with the Nolan Wells case. You got Al Sharpton and Ben Crump. I knew of Al Sharpton. I'm pretty sure I didn't put him on my channel before. A video. He hasn't physically been, you know, on my channel or anything like that. And I didn't know Ben Crump at all. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I didn't know Ben Crump at all. That was my first time even seeing anything, you know, about, you know, Ben Crump. But their names are getting out there. That is what's important within them. Even though these are two different cases, that's what's more so important in them. Just like it was important to Dominique Alexander to get his name out there. He didn't care about that. And you clearly see. When it comes down to him saying anything about the judge and this, that, and the other, there's too many people saying that, you know, the judge, that things weren't fair and this, that, and the other. I truly feel as if it could have been way worse than what Carmelo Anthony truly got. So is Carmelo Anthony the kid who, you know, unalived 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, you know, at a high school track meet in Frisco last year. Just got his new trial hearing set for next month, as people saying. He was found guilty of first degree and sentenced to 35 years for people that don't know. Self-defense claim rejected by the jury. Now this high new power legal team is crying. Trial was closed to the public. Prosecutors broke some secret deal. Jury instructions were misleading, and the judge is biased. This is, you know, obviously something that, you know, doesn't surprise me. Within it, especially, you know, the outrage that they put out with everybody, and, you know, you have so many people in the support of Carmelo Anthony outside of the courtroom and whatnot. Says classic move, lose fair and square, then scream the system is rigged. Of course, you know, truly. You have right here, they're saying this is the new judge, Judge Sid. You know, will now hear the motion to rescue the original trial judge, John Roach, determine how this matter should move forward. Put right here, fact check, because there seems to be confusion about the Carmelo Anthony case. Judge Sid has been assigned, but Judge Roach has not simply been removed from the case, and Karmelo Anthony has not been granted a new trial. So people that don't know. So before anyone starts celebrating new judge, new trial, that's not where it stands. A motion is a request, not a victory. And a new trial has not been granted, period. So a lot of people think that the trial is granted. New trial is granted. It is not. For people that do not know that. And I feel like that's something that's definitely important. When I say that, you have so many individuals that are truly still marching for Karmelo Anthony. It's truly sickening of what they're doing. A group of activists marched through Baton Rouge today calling for a new trial for Karmelo Anthony, a 19-year-old serving 35 years. 35 years and, the stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in a Texas high school track meet. There are still people, that obviously is out still marching. There's still Karmelo Anthony's family that are truly still doing everything they can to get the money to Karmelo. As y'all know, a lot of so people that don't know, because I've said this before, and I feel like so many people get lost when I say this. I've told y'all, and Sarah Fields I put out also, that they're trying to put out different donation. They're trying to get donations basically, and a lot of people know that you're not, that they can't. And the reason, and I'm not saying that they can't. I feel like it's discussed that's not. It's how they're doing it. It's how they're doing it. So what they're doing is that a lot of these sites don't allow. Obviously, he did what he did, like convicted of doing that. I can't say certain words on here, but y'all know what he did. And you can't raise money for individuals, obviously, that has done that on these sites. And what they're doing now is they're going through other people to raise money for Karmelo. So there was a site that or link that was for domestic violence survivors, I believe, and kids and whatnot. And they're funneling that money basically to Karmelo. And they can't do that. They can, but y'all see what I'm saying. Like they're trying their best to donate money. They're also selling shirts. They're doing everything they can. You're gonna have people in the comments saying, "Yeah, they can do that." The site's not. When it comes down to GoFundMe, GiveSendGo, they're not letting him. And I'm not sure if it's no. There are other. I'm sure they are, but those two main ones, they don't allow that whatsoever. You do have an individual that is on here. I cannot click on this picture because it does show pretty much bad things. This former Dallas City Council candidate, Devontae Peters, calls to dig up. And this is, I'm telling y'all, this is definitely sickening. Truly sickening. Austin Metcalf's grave. And do the same exact thing that Karmelo did. That's what it is said on here. I can't say those words, but I truly find it very sickening that people even would do that. And then they said, and free Karmelo. So you truly have a lot of people that are doing a lot of things, a lot of threats, is coming along. You have Austin Metcalf's dad, Jeff, is revealing there's more threats against him and his family. After, Karmelo Anthony has gotten convicted and sentenced to 35 years in prison. Check it out.
I get text messages and voicemails that are just vile, disgusting things. I woke up this morning, there's 3 of them already. I got a death threat yesterday. All the race baiting and all these people are they're monetizing it. They're making it's for clicks.
Frisco police shared, quote, "I can confirm that we are tracking several online threats made against the Metcalf family. No arrests have been made at this point. However, these investigations take time and arrests are possible as the cases develop." Now, the defense never argued race in court, but outside the courtroom, the case has fueled a fierce racial debate with Anthony's family members and supporters claiming he was targeted and unfairly prosecuted because of race. Now, police say the man seen on the right here of this viral video, Jerome Winston Park, was arrested for unlawful possession of a weapon. Prosecutors have pointed out that some of the student witnesses who testified that Anthony was at fault and provoked this attack were black teammates of Austin Metcalf. Do you believe that there would be the same outcry if this was a white murder suspect and a black victim.
I can't speak to that. I can tell you every murder case, and I've handled hundreds, if not thousands, over a 30-year career, is tragic.
Would you have handled this prosecution any differently?
No, of course not. The case simply had nothing to do about race.
And Karmelo Anthony's family says
People
they're
know that.
also receiving death threats. Metcalf's father says he doesn't wish harm on anyone. He says he even feels sorry for Anthony, knowing that he is going to spend decades behind bars, Aisha.
And honestly, I'm gonna be 100 with you. That is truly I can say a reaction you would definitely get out of a human being. I mean, you have that deep down, like, dang, man, like, this kid that messed up his life. I know he took my child, but he messed up his life, you know, by doing something so stupid. And you have all this anger around you. You know, I can't imagine. You know, I definitely, and I pray nothing, you know, that y'all kids, y'all have and stuff like that, they don't have to, or, you know, anybody y'all know. You know, I wouldn't want anybody to deal with this or anything like that. But I definitely find it pretty wild that people are still continuing to do this. Truly, it's sad. You literally have it right here. And like I said, there are so many people that are truly making up their own stories, making up their own things and saying things about it. Truly have this woman right here claiming that I'm gonna just let y'all just listen to this.
There is an alleged post from Austin, you know, from, of course, before he passed, that, you know, he had 2 assault rifles on his you know, resting on himself in the car, saying that I dare one of the monkeys to come to this track meet today. But this is someone where, you know,
please, somebody in the comments down below, especially the people that always got something to say, that get in my comments, call me out my name and say this, say that. Show me exactly what she's talking about, please.
Karmelo Anthony was a 3.7 GPA student working 2 jobs, but he's the one that we're supposed to believe is a thug.
Of course. Because that's how they see us. They want everything is good because it's white, and then when it comes to black, it's angry, it's violent.
I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. Good people see. I seen somebody today. I'm gonna give you a prime example, and I try not to judge. But I'm only doing this because this individual gave me a dirty look. I don't know why. I'm not, when I go out, and most of y'all know this. When I go out, and y'all see me, I'm not a flashy type. The only thing that'd be flashy about me probably, and it's not really that flashy, obviously, it's just a car. The cars that I drive. And I won't even say that that's flashy. It's noticeable, but it's not flashy. But I'm saying as far as flashy, I have necklaces, that such jewelry, but I don't flash it. Money, I don't flash it. I don't even carry cash. You know, I don't have stuff like that, but you can definitely tell just by my demeanor, the way that I carry myself. Do you know what I mean? You have that. This guy in particular, tell y'all right now, it's a black guy. It's not me judging. I'm just based off of, you know, you can definitely tell just by looking at somebody. Sometimes. This individual had his pants hanging off of him. Had a wife beater on. Not literally YouTube. It's a tank top. I said tank top. Tank top on. Dreads. He was older. 30s, mid-30s. Probably even close to 40. He was literally, and I know this wasn't his woman because he sat over a little bit. It was his mom and a sibling. And I was sitting there and I'm like, man, I know for a fact, like, just seeing. I don't like to judge, but just seeing how he is, you know, and just seeing, you kind of see that. So I'm not about to sit here and just act like it's just white people that'll be like, oh yeah, he a thug. Or, oh yeah, he's this. Or, oh yeah, he's that. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. Even if you don't want to judge, that's more of the story. That's what I'm trying to put out. I don't know if y'all getting it, but I'm just trying to. It's not only white people that do this, and they know that. It's more so of them trying to make things seem and use color within everything, because that's honestly what they're doing, using color within everything, and it's definitely sad. But anyways, not trying to talk, you know, about, you know, this individual or anything like that, but you can just tell just how he was, you know, as a person and the way he carried himself, giving me dirty looks while I was getting some food for my girl and her kids. I mean, our kids. I mean, I truly, I don't know. It's definitely
it's everything that they don't want.
And this is why I say nothing is entertainment, because movies have been made all along telling you exactly the truth. And we viewed it as entertainment. And now we're having to come back again and understanding that it's just, truth.
We are the entertainment. We are the show at the end of the day. I had a whole conversation with my son today, my 18-year-old son, and I'm telling him, as I'm running him around all day long trying to get his knee fixed to play football, bro, you playing a white man's game.
Yes.
You're at 18 years old. You're putting your body on the line to be their pawn, and you are nothing to them.
Nothing.
When are we going to wake up? When are we going to start pushing our kids to be court jesters?
I'm not gonna lie. This is why I say it sucks that people have the type of parents that they have. I'm not gonna lie. You're literally telling your kid that you're playing a white man's game, and that's something that he loves to do. Football, but that's a white man's game. This is the second time, because I've seen this video before, and I find it wild. After hearing this, after a month or so, this is definitely wild. Simple fact, and it just goes to show you just how this person right here, none of these individuals on this video has any type of character at all. I'm not even gonna lie. It says right here, Austin Metcalf's family should sue these women. I'm not even gonna lie, definitely should. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below what y'all think. Catch y'all next one.